Protesters in Plano spent the morning decrying a new redistricting map.
They're taking all the Democrats, putting them into seats, making those seats super Democratic, making no competitive seats out there, and and then splitting up Democrats in other areas.
They're not wrong. The map is designed to give Republicans more power. That's coming from the bill author himself, who spoke for the first time this week.
Each of these newly drawn districts now trend Republican in political performance.
Now, that is legal, but Democrats accuse Republicans of something not legal.
That shameless admission was made to cover up that they are drawn along racial lines.
Racial lines that they say strip black and brown communities of their voting power.
To take that ability and power away is straight up intentional racial discrimination and a violation of the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
What you do is you can split them or you can dilute their vote.
Political analyst Carlos Ravelo says both arguments have validity.
When you look at the growth of the Texas population that allows the assignment of new congressional districts, that growth is due to minorities, Asians, Latinos, and African Americans. However, the way that these districts are being created is not going to benefit the minority vote.
Heavy hitters from Congress making their cases to the committee on Friday, including Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who says the new map moves her Dallas-based district more into Tarrant County.
Unfortunately, what they've done is they've taken those minority communities and they've separated them out.
In the end, a vote along party lines on Saturday to move the new map forward, along with the battle on both sides.
We have to be relentless next 15 months.
We have 5 partisan Republican seats. That doesn't mean you can't win.
Your statement that you put out today to all of them in a letter to them, you said in addition to abandoning their offices, these legislators may also have committed felonies. What is the felony? What are the penalties for this?
So very simply, it would be bribery if any lawmaker took money to perform or to refuse to perform an act in the legislature. And the reports are these legislators have been they sought money and they offered money to skip the vote, to leave the legislature, to take a legislative act. That would be bribery. And so the facts will have to come out. But I think based upon comments made by legislators themselves, they face a possibility of facing bribery charges, which is a second-degree felony in the state of Texas. There's one way to cure that, and that is if they get back to the state of Texas and make quorum today at a hearing that we have at 3 o'clock, they can cure themselves of any quid pro quo that would subject them to potential bribery charges.
Should stand strong. Districts are redrawn all the time because of population changes. I'm sure that Jasmine Crockett is worried about her job, but I'm sure she'll find another one.
Meantime, Democrats stuck between a rock and a hard place, some leaning toward far left leaders and others trying to recruit military veterans to run for office. Sort of a two-parter here. Do you think they can even get military veterans to run when the party has gone so far left, supporting people like Zohran Mamdani? And if they ultimately are able to be successful getting those individuals to run, do you think it will work? Will they be able to win the midterms by going veteran?
Well, look, I appreciate all the men and women who serve our country. But the problem is that the Democrats' brand is so damaged. We see their approval rating at record lows. And the reality is, I think the American people have woken up and seen what the Democrats have been up to. And their agenda is quite frankly, anti-American. They're the party that's out there championing burning the flag with rampant anti-Semitism. Which Americans have rejected.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. And you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
I tell you, this is good. This is all good. Because we want this helpful right here gone. Yeah, we want the whole squad gone. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Her seat's in jeopardy. This is good because we want this mess right here, this ghetto trash right here. Somebody tell her to pick her eyelash up on the floor. It fell. When she walked in the door, she forgot one of her eyelashes fell. We want this heifer right here gone.
Have you ever heard them say if, since we've been sitting here for I don't know how long? Because honestly, if they would continue to say if or Hunter and we were playing a drinking game, I would be drunk by now.
Ms. Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
A what now?
Chairman. And it also sounds like you have to know something about math. My colleague brought that up as well. It sounds like you need to be at least somewhat decent at counting.
Bro. How did this mess get in?
With IRS. Yes. You'd agree? Okay.
I agree.
Because right now what they're doing is they're peddling Russian lies. Basically, the Republicans have become synonymous for Russians at this point.
Well, you should ask O'Connor about my credibility.
I haven't asked you a question. Okay?
You are?
When I haven't. So when I ask you a question, that's when you answer. Otherwise, I'm talking. So.
Excuse me?
With my time, because it's my time.
Is that a question?
It's not a question.
Okay.
You'll know when I ask you a question, I promise. I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at, calm down. Calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do. So I'm trying to get
Ms.
clarification.
Crockett, you're not recognized. Ms. Crockett.
I can't hear you with your yelling.
Don't want
calm down.
No,
Can you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all talk noise and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send her
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Yeah, I tell you, we want that mess gone. Yeah, I tell you. You know, and it's not even just that. I'm surprised we didn't get into the racist clips. You know, the white supremacy clips. I tell you, boy, we want this crap gone, man. Yeah. Ooh-wee.
More than 50 Texas Democrats fleeing the Lone Star State for Chicago, all to protest Republican efforts to redistrict the state ahead of the midterms. Texas Governor Greg Abbott announcing late last night that the Dems who fled could be removed, writing, quote, Democrats hatched a deliberate plan not to show up for work for the specific purpose of abdicating their duties and of their office and thwarting the chamber's business. That amounts to an abandonment or forfeiture of an elected state office. RNC National Committee woman Jane Timken joins me now. Jane, could they actually be kicked out, deemed to have forfeited their seats?
I mean, it's quite possible. This never ends well for the Democrats. This is another shenanigan they're trying to pull. And to hightail it out to Chicago, I know it's hot in Texas, but they got to get back to work.
For all the bloviating from these Texas Democrats, don't California, New York, all blue states do the exact same thing to benefit Dems when they have control of the state house?
Absolutely. They do this all the time. And we see it, as you said, in New York and California. This is Eric Holder's plan, Obama's former attorney general. They have been determined to redistrict themselves into power for quite some time. And Republicans should stand strong and not put up with this nonsense. Democrats need to do their job unless they don't want to do it anymore, and then they can lose their job.
An interesting part of all this, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, very, very vocal recently, could be vulnerable because of this redistricting. And as you might imagine, she is not happy about it. Let's listen.
I do think it's important for us to have the conversation around the fact that this is bigger than Texas. This isn't just about the 5 seats in Texas. This is about a power grab. It is about basically...
Ma'am, your eyelash dropped on set, ma'am. Your left eyelash just fell off live on set. Fake news, MSNBC.
Setting the tone for what Donald Trump will try to do throughout this country so that he can suppress the voices of black and brown folk.
Black and brown folk. Hey, guess what, ma'am? Black and brown folk want your butt gone. Yeah, they want you gone. I hate to break it to you, but they want you gone, ma'am. Black and brown folk. People of Texas are ashamed of you, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah. They sick of this crap. They sick of the same script. They sick of the racism. They sick of the way you carry, just the way you carry yourself, how you conduct yourself, ma'am. They sick of the same exact script every single day. You know, and all you talk about is skin color and Trump. People are sick of this crap, man. You know, you've done nothing. You've accomplished nothing. You know, y'all districts are failing. Y'all have achieved nothing. You're just in for the clicks. You're just in for the clicks. You know, people see through you frauds, man. I told you, and I told this. I said this a long time ago. It's not gonna end well for this lady and the whole squad. The whole squad. We want the squad out. Y'all have no common sense. You're out of touch, especially with the American people. You know, y'all run these same script. Y'all get up there and just completely lie. And again, haven't achieved not a thing.
Just so that he can stay in power. We've got to do everything that we can to save this country, because right now it feels like we're going to hell, and it doesn't seem like we have a way back.
Okay, so you heard in her answer, she's making this about
same fear-mongering.
yet. 4 of the 5 new districts.
Fear-mongering and race. That's all she knows. Fear-mongering and race.
Districts that would be created by this Texas Republican plan literally are majority Hispanic. That according to the author of the bill pushing these maps. Your thoughts, Jane?
Well, of course they're going to push the race card. You know, this is really not about race. It's about making districts that are fair. We've seen that the Democrats have abused the system in other states. Republicans should stand strong. Districts are redrawn all the time because of population changes. I'm sure that Jasmine Crockett is worried about her job, but I'm sure she'll find another one.
Meantime, Democrats stuck between a rock and a hard place, some leaning toward far-left leaders and others trying to recruit military veterans to run for office. Sort of a two-parter here. Do you think they can even get military veterans to run when the party has gone so far left, supporting people like Zohran Mamdani? And if they ultimately are able to be successful getting those individuals to run, do you think it will work? Will they be able to win the midterms by going veteran?
Well, look, I appreciate all the men and women who serve our country. But the problem is that the Democrats' brand is so damaged. We see their approval rating at record lows. And the reality is, I think the American people have woken up and seen what the Democrats have been up to. And their agenda is quite frankly, anti-American. They're the party that's out there championing burning the flag with rampant anti-Semitism. Which Americans have rejected. The Republican Party is about the working class, the blue collar men and women, safe and secure borders. You saw what happened with the passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill. This is championing America and American workers and American taxpayers. Democrats really have no cohesive message. And as I said, I appreciate the servicemen and women who want to stand up, but they are in the wrong brand.
Jane Tim.
More than 50 members of the Texas House of Representatives fleeing to Chicago in protest of Republican efforts to redistrict the Lone Star State ahead of the midterm elections. And Democrats are having a field day with the proposed changes.
We've got to do things that perhaps in the past I would not have supported. This is an authoritarian move by the White House to try to make sure that they can rig the election.
If Republicans were confident on their policy agenda, they'd be eager to defend it with the people and to defend it at the ballot box next November. But
Jose
they're in
Padilla.
trouble. And so they're trying to rig the system to hold on to power next November.
Democracy itself, freedom itself are at stake here, and we cannot allow for an Orban-style one-party system takeover of our entire government. So we've got to do whatever we can to fight back.
All right, let's bring in Fox News contributor Mary Catherine Ham. Mary Catherine, great to see you. Democrats appear to be very bothered by this. What say you?
This is so embarrassing. Just go and do your jobs in the House that you were elected to. Look, this happens every now and then where Republicans basically do the playbook that Democrats have been running for a while, and then Democrats go, wait, you're not supposed to do that. Only we're supposed to do that. Now we're going to leave our elected state and evade the democratic process in order to thwart you using these tools that are at your disposal. Even the New York Times reported or admitted that Democrats have little to fight back with on the gerrymandering front because they have gerrymandered their states so extensively, Chicago being a great example, Illinois being a great example, which is where they fled, that they can't actually do anything to compete against this. So I would just say that this is once again a bit of a tantrum, and the people who they represent should require them to be in their state to do their jobs.
Yeah. Speaking of Illinois, the governor, J.B. Pritzker, never seizing an opportunity or not seizing an opportunity to grab the spotlight. He took to the microphone and said Republicans are cheating.
I need to walk his big butt out.
They are attempting to cheat. And, I think we all know Donald Trump is a cheater. When the cult leader and,
Cult leader. They need to walk his big. They need to walk the big piece of dough man out, man. They need to walk Big Pillsbury Doughboy out. I tell you, and his frohawk mohawk buddy that said he's only hiring black people.
A would-be dictator of the United States
dictator
tells Texas to midstream change the game when they know that they're going to lose in 2026. All bets are off. Everything's got to be on the table.
There it is again. We've got to fight back, Governor Pritzker says.
Yeah, this is how they justify everything. And I actually think it does get undemocratic when you decide that you can justify anything you do because your opposition has been a special kind of dangerous. And this is what they've done with the Trump era from day one, right? This is what got you Russiagate, is that all of these intelligence officials and officials and democratically elected officials were like, this guy is a special danger, and because he's a special danger, we can do special FISA warrants that violate a bunch of Americans' rights. That was a bad thing to do. That was the wrong thing to do. They lead themselves down these paths. And by the way, those paths aren't always great for American voters who decide, we don't like that you're violating all the norms that you allegedly value to do this.
Mary Catherine Ham, I want to ask you about a Wall Street Journal headline. The conservative women who are having it all grabbed my attention. I'm sure it grabbed yours as well. Here's a quote from the Wall Street Journal piece on that. There's Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett, former South Carolina governor and ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, and Senator Katie Britt of Alabama. Last year, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt returned to work just 4 days after giving birth when Trump announced his candidacy. I would reject that you can't be a good mom and be good at your job, Leavitt said on a recent podcast. It's not for everybody, and it takes a lot of work and will and faith and prayer, and it's hard, but it can be done. I mean, it seems there are more and more conservative women and evidence of conservative women excelling in these high-profile careers, Mary Catherine, while having a family. They're crediting their faith, as you heard from Caroline Leavitt, for their ability to maintain their grit throughout. We know this is not easy, and really seems to be flipping the idea that feminism only exists on the left. It appears it's on the right in its own way, too. Your reaction?
Yeah, I loved, by the way, that Nikki Haley was like planning her daughter's wedding while she was running for president. I enjoyed that multitasking Olympics that she was up to. No, look, there are a lot of different models for this, and I think conservative women in particular are pretty good at recognizing that motherhood and career can be compatible, but they are imperfectible. Like, this isn't going to be a perfect situation for you. There are going to be things you give up on one side or things you give up on the other side. And it looks different all throughout your kids' lives. I have 4 kids. I love doing my job and I love being a parent to them. I have given up opportunities and money to make sure that I am there for them. I have been a single widowed mother to 2 kids, and that certainly came with its own set of problems. But the sort of relying on your faith, enjoying motherhood itself, enjoying your children, and letting that give you the tools to succeed in your career, I think is something that women of the right, women of faith, are pretty good at. And now it isn't going to work for everyone. I can't do the Caroline Leavitt, right? I'm going to do a different model of that. But there are women who can do certain things, and there are others who set their lives up differently. And I think recognizing all the ways you can have it all at whatever stage of your life is an important part of making it work for you and your family.
Having spoken to so many amazing working moms right here at Fox about this over the years, best advice ever is just take it one day at a time, right?
One day at a
Mary
time.
Catherine Ham.
This is good. This is what we want right here. Somebody tell her eyelash dropped on the floor.
This bill is going to continue to move on the Senate side because the Senate side is still in, but the House is not in. And as we know, it's got to pass both chambers before it can get to anybody's desk. So as of right now, there is nothing that they can do as relates to the House. I am so very proud. Please, please, please look up these amazing state representatives, show them some love, encourage them, because this is really hard to make the decision that you're going to leave your family behind as you go and hide out, because we got a rogue bootleg criminal attorney general who absolutely is like wanting to be Trump 2.0 himself, and he wants to put warrants out for people, even though like he's the one that was under federal investigation for years, and he's the one that had felony indictments pending for years, and of course was avoiding prosecution for years. Yeah, because like that's what makes you real MAGA, is like you got to be about this thug life. You got to be like cheating on your wife. You got to at least be going to get impeached if you ain't been impeached, because he was impeached. He just wasn't convicted again. We've kind of seen this play out before. Anyway, but he got the nerve to talk about who should be arrested. Give me a break. Kind of like, you know, the orange orangutan, you know, the Timu Hitler. He on the same nonsense too. Bro, you the real criminal. Like, stop coming for people that's out here in these streets just trying to make this country really work by going to work, and so you grabbing them up at work. That's a whole other issue. Anyway, the point is I am currently in Arizona, and the other point is they thought that they were going to put that terrible map on the floor tomorrow in the House and get it passed, and they are not going to be able to pass that map on the House floor tomorrow. So I'm really excited, really proud of these amazing Democrats. Please look them up, and please make sure that you show them as much love as possible. I'm sure they will give you information about how it is that you can support them on this journey. But again, this is bigger than Texas. This is about all of us. This is about making sure that there can be real checks and balances, because some people have decided to check out of their constitutional oaths and have decided that they were going to check into the wannabe Hitler life.